This is the Wednesday, May 11th edition of the Carolina Weather Video. I'm meteorologist Matthew East here with you. Had a pretty rough and tumble night last night across parts of the region. Mountains, foothills, southern Piedmont, then down through a good chunk of South Carolina. Nasty line of storms moved on through. A lot of wind damage reports with that line and a whole lot of lightning and some hail as well. It was one of those really intense bands of storms that really developed up in the eastern parts of Kentucky and the Ohio River Valley, then just rapidly surged south and southeast across the region. It was one of those mesoscale convective complexes and had one of those little mesoscale vortices that developed within that. Let's go to the radar this morning, and what's left of the overnight round of rain and storms is offshore of South Carolina now. And new batch of rain and storms pushing on in, and we'll talk more about that in just a moment. Again, I'm cutting this video during the 5 a.m. hour. Look at all the wind damage reports and good clustering of some hail reports as well. With that complex of storms that moved through the region. And it was an overnight deal when you got down into the southern Piedmont and much of South Carolina. A lot of rain in some areas as well. Some localized amounts of rain, over 2 inches. And really impressive complex of storms overnight. Now, this is the GSP NEXRAD. This was the image snapped at 5:06 a.m. Eastern Time. And another complex of storms moving in. Now, this one is not as intense as the previous band of rain and storms. But that'll move through, and that'll probably get into the Charlotte region as we get toward probably rush hour this morning. Now, again, I mentioned that little mesoscale convective vortex that developed. You could see it. I looked at the radar at about 9 o'clock yesterday evening. You could see that vortex sitting right here. And it just developed just like that. And that really enhanced the wind damage potential with this line of storms as it moved on through. All right, surface temperatures, a lot of warmth out there, a lot of 70-degree plus readings in the plains and down in the parts of Georgia and South Carolina. Most of the Piedmont is 60 or higher this morning. And there's the day one convective outlook for today. And that slight risk is placed into South Carolina and easternmost Georgia. But there's going to be another deal today where any storms that happen to form in this area could be strong to severe. I just think overall there'll be a little fewer number today than what we saw last night. But as always, in this northwest flow aloft, you have to watch for complexes of storms developing and moving our way. That's kind of what I've been highlighting for the deal this week, and that's going to continue to be the case. Now, notice this upper low back in the Rockies today. As we get on into the weekend, this is Saturday morning, that upper low getting close enough to us. And the models are pretty unanimous now in having one upper low and then another one. And it's this second one that will then pivot around and look like that by Tuesday morning. Interesting and complex scenario, basically an unsettled pattern this weekend and into early next week. There's the GFS printing out at least some isolated showers and storms through the day today, hit and miss type stuff. And we'll have to continue to see this with the SUPI air mass in place really at any point in time. We're fair game to get a few showers and storms. There's Thursday evenings precip on the GFS. Then we get into Friday, and I do think we begin to ramp up the coverage of showers and storms again Friday afternoon and evening. Saturday, Sunday, not a washout those days, but just a good coverage of showers and storms on both days, and probably the highest coverage being in the afternoon and the evening. Then we go out to Monday. Still a good chance for at least some scattered showers and storms. And Tuesday, with that second upper low diving in, it's like Tuesday could be a pretty rainy day overall. But again, it all depends on how that upper level low unfolds as we get into early next week. All right, so that is it for today's edition of the Carolina Weather Video. Thank you for watching. Have a great Wednesday, and God bless.